Here today, humbled by the task before us, grateful for the trust you've bestowed, mindful of the sacrifices borne by our ancestors.
Welcome to the inauguration of the 44th President of the United States of America. The world is watching today as our great democracy engages.
가장 중요하게 생각한 희망과 변화라고 하는 그런 가치의 구체적인 의미가 뭔지 설명할 수 있어요.
안녕하십니까, 한지섭이라고 합니다. 부페어 첫 여정이 곧 7시간 후면 시작됩니다. 우리 부페어 팀원들이 북미에 가서 역사적인 부페어 2010 부페어 그 첫걸음 안전하게 또 굉장히 큰 내실을 가지고 돌아올 수 있도록 간절히 기도해 봅니다.
자료 모으고 있어, 자료.
얍.
저 가기
그럼
전에.
일단
가서 잘 만나고 와야지. 아, 네.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
It's an honor to see you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
So,
Yeah,
were you able to get into my office?
I think so too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Like creative thinker and creative activist. So we have met almost like 50 people from many different countries.
Really? How long have you been doing this?
Almost 2 years.
Really?
So back and forth we
You're
travel
going around the world for
together.
really? It's amazing.
Korean book, your book.
Yeah, well, this is not Korean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
this
that is not.
Korean.
That
Is that
is,
in Korean?
Is not.
no, that is an
That
English.
is except
No.
is all
And
Korean.
this one.
Oh, these
too.
are-
Yes, yeah.
All of them are in Korean.
Oh. Oh, so I can have these?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
if you don't have a copy of
All right,
Korean,
thank you.
Really?
you're welcome. It's alright, but so there.
Oh, that's wonderful. I've never seen this.
Oh really? There must be some underlined here, but you could have.
No, I'd be happy to have it.
And there's some more photos here too.
Oh, I'm very happy to have this, and my children will be happy to
Oh
see
yeah,
this.
sure.
This is my son. Yeah, and
Jeff, right? Jeff?
yes,
And
Jeff
Chomsky too.
and the Chomsky. So ultimately, justice has to do with human relations, with people treating one another as equals, and justice, has many different aspects. There is the justice that I just spoke about, which is the justice of courts and prisons and what they call the judicial system, and where justice may not exist, even though they call it justice, you see. It's interesting that in the United States, the judges are called justices, the justices of the Supreme Court.
Right.
But the justices of the Supreme Court may not give out justice, you see. But that is one form of justice. Then there is economic justice. And within economic justice means that all people will have the same access to all the necessities of life. For instance, this is the year that we have celebrated this past year, we have celebrated the Universal Declaration of Human
Exactly.
Rights.
Exactly.
Now, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights defines justice and defines specifically economic justice. And the Universal Declaration says every human being has the right to food, housing, medical care, education, all these things. That's economic justice. That's social justice. And so I think we have to think of justice, in many different ways. The justice of the law and of the legal arrangements, the justice of economic arrangements, and there's also a political justice, which has to do with democracy and people having a right to decide their own fate. And there too, democracy is not just a matter of having a formal structure, of having voting and a legislature. You can have voting and you can have a legislature and you'll still not have political justice.
Right.
So political justice, requires that everybody have a voice in their own lives and in the policies of the country.
Yeah.
And hope is very important, of course, because without hope, you do not have the will, the energy to live or to do anything good. You have surrendered your energy, surrendered your will, surrendered your life. And it is very easy to understand why people don't have hope. Because you look around at the world, terrible things are going on. And we all know this. We talk to people who don't have hope because they see wars going on. They see people being treated badly, and it's very easy to lose hope. But I think that a sense of history is a very important thing to have. Because if you have a sense of history, you know that there have been times in the past, many times, when people have lost hope, and then they discovered that change can take place. And in the United States, you might say black people for a long time had no hope. Everything was the same. Nothing changed for them. But there were a few people who had hope, and they began to act.
Right.
And when they acted, that spread to other people. And soon they could see the possibility of hope. So hope is very important, because if you have hope, you will act, you will move, you will engage with people. And if you don't have hope, well, you are allowing the world to go on exactly as it has been. And we don't want that. We want a new world.
Right. All right there. Right, please. All right. Thank you so much for.
For me, diversity itself is the value. There's no other value that can bring you to diversity. You have to recognize diversity as an end in itself. And as an end itself, it is the value. Yeah? And the value of diversity is necessary ecologically, and it is necessary socially. It's necessary ecologically because without diversity, you cannot have sustainability. The reason I started Navdanya this movement to save seeds and biodiversity, is because the disappearance of biodiversity has created the non-sustainability of agriculture. If you get rid of the crops that fix nitrogen on your farm, you will have to apply chemical fertilizers that are made from fossil fuels. You cannot then expect nitrogen to be produced by the farm itself. If you get rid of things like the beautiful neem tree, which was patented, you will not have pest control without using pesticides, which kill. So biodiversity is the only way we can do sustainable agriculture. And social and cultural diversity is the only way you can have wholesome societies. Now, it is true that we in India have more diversity than anyone else. We have cultural diversity, we have 25 written languages, we have probably 6,000 spoken languages that are living languages today. Every day we eat food differently in every part of the country. We eat dosa in the south and roti in the north and rice in the east. Our ways of dressing are different in every part of the country. And that basically is one aspect of cultural diversity. But there's another aspect of diversity in India, which is that every religion of the world exists here. Many of them were born here. Buddhism was born here. Jainism was born here. Sikhism was born here. What is called Hindu is actually not a religion, it's a geography. It means the land beyond the Indus. So that's, I don't know how many thousands of religions, because in every home, I can have a personal divinity, the home can have another divinity, the community can have another divinity. We have 300 million divinities, which is the same as the number of species on this planet, because in India, we believe that everything is a form of the divine. That's why when you come into my office and I say namaskar, I'm basically saying, I bow to the divine in you. Yeah? When everything has divinity, then you can have different forms of divinity. Yeah? So, I mean, I love the expressions of divinity. There's my Ganga there, or Ganga there, or my goddess of wealth and goddess of learning and goddess of music and goddess of peace and goddess of justice. These are ways in which we imagine the world. And diversity is the way the world is. That's why Indian goddesses always have more than one hand, 2 hands, 1,000 hands. Buddhist goddesses, 1,000 hands, Tara, 1,000 hands. Now, all this is symbolism for the human mind to be able to accommodate diversity.
I was dancing when I was 12. I was dancing when I was 12. I was dancing when I was out. I was dancing when I was out. I danced myself right out the womb. I danced myself right out the womb. Is it strange to dance so soon. I dance myself right out the room. I was dancing when I was 8. I was dancing when I was 8. Is it strange to dance so late?
Very recently, your book has been translated into Korean, like many books has been translated very recently. So and the public. Yeah.
So it is a question not so much of, like in early solid modernity, not the question of building slowly, floor by floor, brick by brick, building your identity, but it is the question of constantly redefining yourself. Identity becomes a full-time job and whole life job. It never stops. It never stops. You can't stop. If you stop, you are degraded. So my definition of good society is very simple now. Good society is society that never thinks that it is good enough. It means simply that there is always room for improvement. So I think it's pessimistic because you can't any longer dream that in 10 years' time you build society in which no other changes will be no longer necessary. And once and for all you achieve the perfect condition, and in perfect condition by definition, every change is a change to the worse. It's so perfect that whatever you change, it's worse than it was before. Now, the conclusion to which I'm coming now, denies this possibility, right? But on the other hand, it is optimistic because it gives energy, really. There is so much to be done, a lot to do. There is not an empty moment, not a meaningless moment in history. Every moment is crucial, is important. So that's what I think about it, really. And
Yabo!
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
Or studies or book.
Yes.
Yeah. Which way could be the best way to learn the sensitivity
Right.
towards others?
I think it requires understanding. And it's a very simple understanding which has become lost to us. We have lost the understanding. We are not asking for new understanding. We are looking to regain an old understanding. Not many generations before, our ancestors were surrounded with nature, completely surrounded with nature. And they understood nature. They understood how to use it, how not to use too much, they understood the animals, they understood the plants, they understood the mountains. They had a deep understanding. And Western civilization has destroyed a lot of that understanding, a lot of it. Now we know that human beings have to learn everything. I'm just restating from last night to start. Human beings have to learn everything. A new baby has to learn everything. There is no instinct being carried forward. So there is no instinctive knowledge of our relationship to the environment and the plant and animal kingdoms. It has to be taught to that baby, to that child. And we are not doing that today. We are not doing it in our schools. We're not doing it in our universities. The places where you find a little bit of education, it's just too small. So what has happened is their divide has come. It has become us and them. Us human beings, and there you have plants and animals, and there you have the environment. And we use them. What has been lost is the understanding of exchange. Exchange is a very, very important concept because we take everything from the environment, from the air that we breathe. The oxygen is coming from the trees. Everything that we use comes from the environment. Even a dirty coal mine is something from the environment, giving us jobs, giving us... The question is, what do we give back? You see? People have a natural understanding of exchange. You can take two people who are very good friends, and if the one, very good friends, and if the one says, please, I need $1, that's enough. Of course you can have $1. No, it's my friend. And then he asks another $1 next time, another $1, $5, $3. So maybe the total is only $200, not a lot. But always I'm giving $1, then something goes wrong, you see, with the friendship. So this is when exchange goes out, problems develop. And this is a fundamental problem we have with our relationship with nature and the environment. Our exchange has gone out. We only take, we don't give. And the principle of the exchange is inherent in every human being. We all understand exchange. We just take, we just use. So this is a fundamental truth that needs to be taught to young children who don't know and don't remember many generations before when our ancestors had a good relationship with the environment, because nobody taught them. It's a very simple thing. It's not a complicated answer, I believe.
So
I can't even remember what I wrote. Back to that, because when we talk about nature, we'll get onto that. But in fact, we need more than that. We do need more than that. And it's a bit of a risk, fascinating though the artist's perspective is, it's a bit of a risk to romanticize nature, I think. And I'll come back to that later, but the thing is, you can talk till you go blue about values, but how do you bring about change? And I know one simple answer, but it only works on an individual level: turn off your TV. But there's more to that than that, of course. But so basically, if we do not re-evaluate our values, well then, I'll try not to use rude language, the planet is in big trouble. Well, it is already in big trouble. The planet will not survive as we know it. And, well, there's two options. Some kind of grassroots resurgence or a crisis. And if not one, then two. If not, then crisis. And the crisis does not bear thinking about. It is beyond our most horrific nightmares. I mean, it's simple enough, isn't it? Take running out of petrol. What will happen? In all the world's major cities, people will eat each other. You don't have to go very far to work that out. What will they eat? Each other. That's a fact. It's just, and it doesn't bear thinking about. And the world leaders are not going to engage with these issues. We've seen that time and time again. And that's a metaphor for rethinking what it means to be a human being. So I'd say, is a good point to finish that question. It's not just about re-evaluating values. It's about rethinking what it means to be a human being.
Oh yeah?
And my friend's sons expect me to hug them.
Oh yeah.
Lovely to meet you.
Yeah, it was great to meet you. Thank you.
Kia kaha.
It's me, yes.
Right. That's one of the.
I think that the idea of beauty today among us in the world or in any place is in a certain way related with the other view. I mean the wider one. And I myself think that it is good, I mean, to take the strength or the values that beauty itself can give you, you can take it from that minimal approaching also to the things that are around us, to increase our capacity of changing in a more wider way the world. I mean the society you live, or the place you live, or the community you live. And I think that if you have on your side the idea of beauty, of tenderness, that it is also in share that value very, very, very present, then I think that way of changing the world for me, the most important items in that sense for me is based on socially in a better distribution of richness of things in a society, a more just distribution of what the society have, and in the necessary understanding among the people that lives in that society, in that place. I think that those are those values, two values that for me are very important. The consciousness that it is important to change basis of your community or the way or the place you live or your society, even your society, if it is based precisely in a better distribution of what the society have, because that brings you more capacity, more capability of being near the other, because you feel more like the other, like him or like her, because the differences of richness makes people necessarily apart, because it is difficult to share things with some person that doesn't have the same opportunities that you have, and that is an obstacle for that relation. I think that trying to have a more equal relation among people can also make more strong the sense of love, and you can use and express your love and your tendencies in a more possible way when you have justice and when you have a social distribution of richness that is near what you need.
Aprendimos a quererte desde la histórica altura donde el sol de tu bravura le puso cerco a la muerte. Aquí se queda la clara, la entrañable transparencia de tu querida presencia, comandante Che Guevara.
생각할 때